Hey guys, you know what's happening. The ladies are back for the third episode of Hair Tales. I am going to be dogging first because I talk a lot. Elizabeth Colin, also known as Misfit One. We have April, we have Tish, and we have Wednesday. And so, you know, it's the same old thing, but this time, episode 3 was talking about our visits to the salon, and we are presently at Lockstar, baby.
Yes. Welcome. So glad to be shooting here with you all.
This is great.
This is awesome. This is awesome. This is where we come and get our hair done. I and Wednesday, right?
Yes.
And I was really hoping to come and get my hair done. If I showed up a little earlier, if I showed up a little earlier, she'll feel bad for me. But no, I'll wait till my appointment. Not today.
Right.
Not today.
Right.
But let's just talk about it overall. What do you guys think about it? It was called Embodied Liberations.
Mm-hmm.
How did that episode sit with you?
So you want me
you start.
So the title Embodied Liberation was absolutely perfect because Ayanna Pressley, which was she's a congresswoman, she embodied that bald head and hair freedom. She definitely embodied it.
Absolutely.
I love the way it looked on her.
Mm-hmm.
She's rocking it like no other, and she's a congresswoman.
Yeah.
With a bald head, sitting in a political office with a bald head. Who else can do that?
Yep.
She's a United States rep from Massachusetts, District 7. Congresswoman, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was ironic how she talked about how little girls went from wearing t-shirts that said, you know, my congresswoman wears braids to now she has this, you know, completely bald head. And she kept making a point to say, you know, that wasn't my choice.
Right.
It wasn't her choice. So I thought that was very ironic.
So she's rocking it.
But
She
she also said that you don't have to have hair to
No,
wear
you don't.
brown.
You do
I
not.
was
Oh.
like, chills, baby. It was really good. So what did you think about it?
So I really enjoyed listening to and learning from Congresswoman Ayanna Pressley in Massachusetts. Yeah, that was wonderful. Because we all see women wearing their, you know, bald heads,
Yes.
and usually there is a story behind it when
Yes,
it's
that's
that
right.
low. You know,
Yeah.
usually there is a story.
Now I know.
And so.
Learn something.
So things happen that where obviously it's alopecia. I'm sure we'll get to that later, but it still is a choice to decide to rock your bald head because wigs are so common now.
Exactly.
So it is still a
Good
choice
point.
for her
Good
to
point.
operate that way. Which
That's what I
we
was gonna
saw
talk
that
about.
she did. You know, wear the wig once.
And
I think it was when she was maybe sworn in. She did wear the wig once,
Right.
but just obviously was uncomfortable and just couldn't do it. And she had like amazing support from her husband.
She did.
Wasn't that good?
Yeah.
He was so
Yeah.
good.
He was so good,
Yeah.
so good. So I'm laughing because I know on the episode she was like, you know, she got on the Congress floor and she was like, I can't do this in this wig. And I was thinking to myself, no, you couldn't do it in that wig. That wig was a hot.
It was horrible.
I hated it. And
I can say
it was bad, and you know it was bad. And that
didn't
make
fit
anybody be
from-
like, I can't
I
keep doing this.
right. Because you were right. I did feel that initially when I saw it, I was like, but that's why, because it was such a drastic look from what she had before. She was rocking the Senegalese twist.
Yes.
They was everything.
All the
Yes.
styles.
All
Yes.
the styles.
Yes.
And she
Were-
talked about going from having long Senegalese twists to short
shorter,
ones because
right.
that
Right.
was a thing to think about.
And to look corporate.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
that's so many topics we have to dig in.
I know.
So let's just first of all talk about our first salon visit because that's why we are here at Lockstar, baby.
Yeah.
Because we're talking about that environment and what that looked like for you and the salon. She talked about the music, the stories, how is a black woman country club come through, ladies.
That was
Facts.
nice. I've never heard it described
Me
as that.
either.
So what was
Me
interesting,
either.
one person described it as that, a black woman's country club. And then she said something that I've heard before, and it's really sad about how salons are dismissed by larger society.
Yes. Right.
But so
Not
much
just
is
salons,
happening in here.
Not just salons, but I feel like hairstylists are dismissed by larger societies too, in terms of like our career choices. We're not really looked at as real professionals.
Oh,
For
that's
some
true.
people, that's so
very
true.
true.
I had a lady in my chair one time,
Interesting.
and when I style hair, I face the mirror. You are looking at the mirror the entire time you're getting your hair done,
Yes.
because I'm looking at what I'm doing. I'm looking
thought
at
that
you.
was just for
How's
you.
it laying? How's it
I
falling?
know.
Everything.
Right.
And I'm also noticing a lot of styles don't do that.
I know. And I've gotten my hair all cut off one time and did not know until I
Until
turned
it was
around.
over.
Yeah, no.
And then
No,
I
that's- yeah.
I don't do that, and that's another thing that's.
I used to work at the dry bar, and that's the way that we had to face our clients.
Yeah.
We had to face them towards the mirror the entire time.
So you know
we
what
had
it
to
is?
walk around them, not move the chair around. So I know exactly what you're
It's
talking
mostly
about.
Caucasian salons.
Yes,
Where
yes.
you face
the dry bar
Correct.
is
And that's why I was
salon where
trained.
mostly Caucasians come to.
So
And that's
the
not
career
true.
discrimination that you guys are talking about for stylists, do you feel like it's black stylists?
Yes,
Or
I do.
Oh,
okay,
really?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, so let me finish this experience
Sure.
though. So this longtime guest,
Oh.
I'm styling her hair. She's looking in the mirror. I'm styling her hair, and she says, "I couldn't do this job."
Say what?
And I didn't say anything. I was like, "Okay." No, I think I might have said, "Oh, okay." Like, no, you can't do this job.
Right, that's why you're paying what you do. Because I was just about to
But I
say
just
that.
said, "Okay." And then she says, "Y'all," she said, "I'm too intellectual."
Oh!
April, and that's the part I'm talking about.
She said it.
They don't think
That
that
gave me
we.
goosebumps. Oh my god.
They
And
don't
you should
think
have
that
taken the
we're
razor
intelligent.
and the clippers and went all the way to the back of the head.
I'm a
But
professional.
I was too intellectual
April.
to not shave the.
But what people that don't go to school for what we do, what they don't realize is how much we learn in hair school. We learn about electricity. We learn about chemistry. We learn about anatomy. We learn about physiology.
Biology.
We learn about all of those things. It's not just
Y'all
hair.
are chemists.
They really
Exactly.
are.
We
Yeah.
And we have to know about these things because
Especially
when you
color
open the
formulation.
salon, you got to know about how electricity
Yes,
works, what
yes.
tools you need to use, and what you have to know these things.
You know, that's so crazy that y'all talking about that, and it didn't change because the revolution in back in the days, they did not pay attention to the black female salons, but they were taping the black male salons. Did y'all pick that up?
Not in-
They were.
Oh, so they knew that the government knew that the black men would be talking about
conversations.
important conversations and taking
the
over.
salon.
Sharing
Share
information.
However, it was the women that was doing it in their salons. Again, black woman is being dismissed, and we still gonna take over the world. Let us go head on and slide
That
under
was
the radio.
offensive what that lady said.
Yeah.
Yes, totally. So
That was very offensive.
But the thing
I'm like
is,
this. I really
Ever said I'm a professional.
she worked. She lived and worked in Charlotte, where we are. She moved to New York. She moved to California. She moved to Georgia. She moved all over. Anytime she was anywhere even close, she would come and get an appointment and sit in my chair, right? For
Right.
her services.
I hope
So
she
I
sees
just said to
this.
myself, like, wherever you go in this world, you want to be back in my chair.
Right,
right.
This
You're
unintelligent
desiring.
woman.
I've sent her
You
all
want-
these other
You want
places.
this unintelligent woman to style your
I've
hair.
sent her to
head.
all these other stylists, and she came back to my chair. So that was one situation. And I'm listening, you all. A few years later, I had another horrible conversation with this woman, and she's the only person that I ended up telling that I could not service her.
What did she say?
You really want to?
Yes, like we all have
Okay.
it. We
So,
all like
yes.
Right.
So you know I have type 1 diabetes. Okay. So when I first got diagnosed, I was diagnosed with type 2. And I'm learning about the disease. I'm figuring out how to be healthy. And,
Right.
Yeah.
and ultimately, I was misdiagnosed. It was supposed to be type 1. So before I knew that, my body was letting me know I wasn't healthy. I was losing weight. You know.
Yeah.
I got so skinny. I ended up weighing like 102. Okay, I got almost like a skeleton. That was my body was talking to me, right? So, but I'm still operating, doing hair. I'm upbeat. I'm doing what I do, right? So she's in my chair, and I explained it to her just like I'm explaining it to you all know what was happening with me.
Right.
And we finished her hair, and I'm about to meet her up front, and she says, April. April, I'm telling you, April, you look bad.
After you explained everything to her?
April, you look sick, you look bad. Yes. I had just
I just told you.
I just told you I'm sick.
I had just explained what I was going through.
Right.
So why on earth would you say that to anybody? She said it like
Retarded.
7 times, y'all. April, you look bad. She said it like 7 times.
It was like, so do you. That was me. So do you, but I have a
So did you
reason.
told her on the
What's
spot
yours?
right there, I can't service you anymore?
No,
You
and I
emailed
totally
her.
could have gone in like what you're.
Because that's my normal
I could have
thing.
gone
You
in
said
with
on the
so
spot.
many things.
I would have said
told
it
her.
so fast.
No, I
I
told her
did
right
not.
then.
I did not. No, I thought about it. I don't do things like.
I know.
immediately.
So how would you guys would have handled
You do the
that?
same.
How would you handle that, you guys? Because that's a real
It was
like
horrible.
scenario. So when did you go back and tell her I can't talk to
Maybe
you?
probably 2 days later.
You emailed her, you called her, you texted
I
her?
text her and said.
Oh, so you broke up with her on text?
Unfortunately,
I would have called her. Remember me?
She would have either needed to see my face or hear my voice and hear the emotion behind it.
What's great about it is that brings up the whole experience of the salon.
Okay.
Right?
Yes.
And I remember my experience and how Congresswoman had to sit on the yellow pages. A lot of y'all don't even know what a phone book is. So that was funny to me.
That's funny.
You started out really early going to the salon then.
Not even.
Oh, you sat on the yellow page?
I sat on the yellow pages just for them to do my hair at home.
Oh, at home.
Because listen, we was poor.
We was poor.
Not poor. We was poor.
Po.
We couldn't afford the OR. You understand what I'm saying? We was poor. But
Just
we
P.O.
Yeah, it was
Oh, that was just P.O.
We were just
okay.
P.O. And so the experiences in the salon when I was able to go was life changing because I lived straight in the country. Y'all all know. My husband said just the other day when I had a panic attack in a crowd, so embarrassing, that it's okay, baby, you just Perry. Like, what's that? That little Perry on the
Little House on the
Little
Prairie.
House on the Prairie.
I thought he meant Perry.
Perry, Texas.
Right, yeah, but that's the same
Perry.
thing, yeah. But so I can't do crowds, but when I went there, it was very life changing because there was always music, there was always laughter,
Yes.
there were always like the cool people to me. Like I always looked around and they was cool and hip, and it was just such an amazing experience, and I experienced that. To this day, here I look forward to coming to Lifestyle
Absolutely.
because she be having they be jamming,
Yeah.
the
Incense,
conversation,
the
the
candles.
vibes. We got Bob
Always
over here,
offering
hearts
wine.
over there, wine.
Yes.
And
yes.
April always
Snacks.
picks the most intricate, like
Interesting spots.
the spots is always so. I can't
Very
even just-
unique.
Yeah,
Yes.
unique. It's like
Love it.
vivacious.
And you should have
I don't
seen
know.
it when we first came in here.
And I did.
Oh,
And
you
I
did.
yeah.
It was horrible.
Yeah. No, it wasn't horrible.
Okay.
But it wasn't this.
I had vision.
You did.
Yeah.
And
It's
you do
always
have
so
those
airy
visions.
and just I don't know, eccentric.
Good.
Right.
I
Very
love those
eccentric.
words.
I like that.
What?
Your first time in the salon.
Oh,
Going to the
okay.
salon.
Let me tell you my vivid memory.
Okay.
It was my mom's friend. Her name is Winnie. Winnie would do my hair, and it was the most uncomfortable shampoo bowl ever.
Oh.
Which is why I try to make mine comfortable. So I was so uncomfortable getting my hair shampoo, and y'all listen. When she was leaning over, her breast kept hitting me in the face.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
How old were you?
I don't know, young.
Okay, so listen, we're gonna go there. We're gonna tell the God honest truth. I used to get my hair done. I'm not gonna say no names because she not dead. But in California, and her hands always smelled like
Fish.
Tail.
Like what?
Fish.
vagina.
Poo-poo.
Tail.
Wait a minute.
Every time.
That I couldn't do.
Every
Which
single
one?
time. I don't want boobies in my
Experience the
face.
most.
No,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no,
Keep going back. Keep going back.
So
That's
it's
crazy.
crazy that you remember the boobs.
That's what I remember. Hitting me.
Y'all were traumatized. Both of y'all were traumatized.
Yeah,
You were
that
traumatized
traumatizing
with your
experience.
JJ hands, and you was traumatized with boobies in the face.
So what was yours?
My first experience in the salon, I was 13. The first time I ever went to a salon, and it was my best friend's aunt, Robin. She was a hairstylist, and we would go on the weekends and help her shampoo. She was my inspiration to become a hairstylist.
Does she know this?
Yes, she does.
Excellent.
You know, I've always wanted to be, but she like really inspired me.
Wow.
Because I wanted to be a hairstylist since I was in kindergarten. But going to her salon and helping her do shampoos on the weekends, and then she put my first color in, she put my first relaxer in. It was a really, really good experience for me because I got to see from the other side of, you know, the stylist side from my first experience.
Right.
Plus get my hair done. And it was mostly older women, and they was doing a lot of pressing curls. You remember the pressing curls?
Yes.
That was like the hard press with the grease, and then you get the tight curls.
Did y'all do? See, we did Marcel's on the stove.
Yes, the
Did y'all do
Marcel's
Marcel's on the stove?
Exactly.
Okay,
When you
okay.
click it.
Yeah. The click.
You click it, and you just turn it, spin it.
Yeah.
You gotta spin it.
I know how to do that too. Do you know how?
Marcel?
Yeah, I know
She's
that's
a great
a
Marcel.
skill.
I used to go to her
I
and
know how to
get
do that.
yes.
So that was my first experience in the salon.
It's for blowouts and grills. Old school blowout.
Like an episode. No, I ain't never heard that. I'm telling y'all, I was straight country. Y'all think I'm playing, but I'm like, no, I don't know any
Yeah,
of
that's
that.
a different kind of country because I'm definitely country, and I thought Marcel's on the stove was country.
You thought it was
country,
yeah.
yeah.
Right.
But that's we're taught that in hair school.
Yeah, Marcel, because
So you
I
did
even
Marcel's.
remember when later on in life seeing the different sizes of
Exactly.
Marcel.
With
I was
the-
like, oh, look at Marcel.
With the
Set up.
curling iron holder.
Yes, yeah, with the oven in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah, I know that.
What was your first experience?
So
like in
my
the salon?
experience was at our sweet cousin Joyce's
Yes,
salon. Still the
Joyce.
same salon she goes into today.
Today.
Yeah,
Wow.
Designer Ladies in Chester, South Carolina.
South Carolina.
So my first time at the salon was I was 12 years old in middle school, and I made a conscious, and we may have talked about this already, so I'll go quickly. I made a conscious decision that I wanted a relaxer. Enough was enough. That I was done with washing, straightening, and I wanted to be a big girl and go get a relaxer. And I sat in her chair and I got a relaxer, and I cried like a baby the entire time.
It hurt.
No, just because
The idea.
of because I was doing something that I felt like was so abrasive and so definitive
12.
and so
Really?
adult
It was
and
so
life
adult,
changing and
yeah.
so like
Because
this
when
is
I
it.
get out of that chair, I'm gonna look like Beyonce.
Even though your mom said it's fine and they get
Even though she said I consciously at 12 years old knew that this was something because my mom didn't have a relaxer, my auntie didn't have a relaxer, my nana didn't have a relaxer. Yeah, I was like making a decision.
She allowed.
Why
She allowed me
Why?
to.
What was that about?
But let me tell you something about my mom. My mom has followed me in every step that I have basically done with hair. After I got a relaxer, she wasn't far
sure
behind.
did.
Oh, okay.
When I went back to being natural in 2000, she wasn't far behind me. We would get hairstyles.
It took her a while to do these locks though.
Yeah, now the locks thing took, but she's
Does
still.
she have locks?
She's
Sister
struggling
locks.
though
She got
because
sister locks.
yeah, she's doing sister locks, but she's struggling because locks are you can't. She says she likes to get to her scalp. She wants to be able to get to her scalp and play in her hair and braid it, and you can't do. I mean, you
she
can,
can.
but
That's
not
why
You
I
can
told
get to your
her.
scalp. I have to talk
She
to
can't
her.
comb
talk
I
to
need
her.
to talk to her.
Yeah, she
Call
wants
my girl.
You need to call her.
Yes.
Yeah, and work because she's struggling. She's struggling.
She
And
wanna
help
hear
her
beautiful.
understand getting to her scalp, doing her braid. Like
That's
you
the
need to
reason
help
I
her
love
understand
it.
all of
Yeah.
that.
I think what it is that she want to get that comb in her scalp
Okay,
and
no
comb
comb
all the
now.
way
Yeah,
through.
that's-
Okay, no.
That's what she wanna
That's
do.
over.
That's
This is your comb right
No
here.
comb.
Patty.
This is your comb.
No
It's
comb,
over,
no comb.
baby.
So with not, I'll segue with not having none of us having relaxers. That brings me to I never had beads as a little girl either.
Yeah,
I didn't either.
You didn't either.
I
Go
did.
ahead.
I'm country and ghetto.
I didn't either, girl.
It's not country or it's not ghetto.
Come
but-
on, Wednesday.
Exactly.
Wednesday, why didn't you have beads?
Because I thought it was good.
And the
Oh, your
congresswoman,
mom did.
We both did.
a congresswoman talked about
She
that.
did.
Her mom said
let her
that
get
beads, and that was because it was ghetto. And it's funny because you
That's
agree
the
with
first time I
that.
ever
I
heard
did
that.
too. Unless they were like clear.
Clear.
Only if they were
I've
clear,
never
it
heard
was
that
fine.
before.
But I never had them.
I never. My first
my
time
daughter
ever
didn't
beads. I was
either.
21 years old, and it was when Alicia Keys had the style with the two braids going
Yeah.
with the beads on the end. That was my first and only time ever having
Yeah.
beads. I've never had.
And you look so ghetto.
Little girls loved beads back
I
then.
had
Little girls don't
beads.
even wear beads anymore nowadays. They putting. What are they doing this to these little girls?
I wore beads.
They do.
You did?
I did.
Okay.
I did.
I did too.
My mom, not my mom, but my sisters, and then we'll put I only had clear beads.
See? There you
So I've
go.
always had
See,
clear
that was
beads.
fine with
And,
us.
look, look at them little
That was fine with
hair.
us.
Oh, because I can be young.
My ghetto tail wore all kind of beads. Okay.
I was like, the Congresswoman in episode 3 talked about straight hair, because y'all talked about when y'all went to the salon, it was the straight hair and the curls, were professional and sophisticated. Okay, and natural hair was country and backwards. God dang it, that hit me hard. And I think that is what they saw. We talked about that before when I was in California. I think they saw me as country and
That
backwards.
negative reception.
Because I was natural.
Yes.
And I remember going, having a great friend of mine who is, wear all the extensions and straight hair. And she was exactly what the industry was looking for.
Okay.
Because she had the straight hair. But she had personality of a fish. You understand what I'm saying? So it's crazy because my personality went with my
Your hair.
wild hair.
Yeah.
But it's crazy because when the Congresswoman saw that, I was thinking, oh, shiznit. That is what they were thinking of me.
Judged.
I was prejudged.
Judged.
Yeah.
You were judged.
And I could see that they thought I was country
Yeah.
or backwards.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? The straight hair, curly hair?
I think it just feeds all the way into stereotypes. You know,
Yeah.
stereotypes and judging. So what I love is being at the place where, yes, of course I see all of that. I see your hair. I see how you decide to wear your hair, how you dress, how you speak. I see all of that.
Yeah.
But the place that I'm at, I know that what matters is how you act, how you speak,
Yep.
the decisions that you make, what are your morals. That is what matters. And it doesn't matter. Someone can look impeccable, whatever impeccable means. Somebody can look that way and act horrible and be a jerk.
Yes.
And
And
you
I'm about to
suck.
ask you that.
So at the end of the day, the hair it doesn't matter. Who are you? How do you operate?
Yes.
You know, how do you treat
Unfortunately,
people?
people don't get to know those things about you until
Because
they
they
get to know
know
you.
you.
But you will be prejudged based on how you look, how you wear your hair, how
body,
you dress, everything.
makeup, dress,
But once you
everything.
open your mouth and people can hear you articulate yourself a certain way and things like that, then they can be like, oh, okay.
Right.
Especially black women. And
Right.
Ayana
Yeah.
said something. She said black women have to be hyper visible while being visible. We have to be.
No, we are.
I'm sorry, we are hyper visible.
Hyper visible.
visible.
But at the same time, while being
Invisible.
visible, right? While being invisible, we have to be seen but not seen. Like
Yeah.
I mean-
that is what. Yeah.
Because naturally, we walk in somewhere and
People will look.
Yup. We're gonna
we don't
demand
have to do
attention.
anything. It happens, especially with natural hair, y'all.
Yeah, we know it. We go places and
We
people,
know, we know.
People stop us. Y'all know we go places. They stop us. I'm like, oh my God, you guys are beautiful.
How often do I text
we
you
gotta
and
go
I'm
there.
like, just got a compliment on my? You're like,
Yeah.
how often do I do
Yeah,
that?
and it happens a lot. And I think it goes to what they were talking about before, confidence.
Oh yes,
That confidence means a lot.
Yes, about the I don't know you're fat. Well, the young lady was like, I don't know you're not fabulous.
Yeah.
Until you don't tell me.
Until you tell me. You're
Yeah,
not. Yeah.
I don't know you aren't. Like she said, fabulous. I don't know you aren't until you tell me.
Until you
Right.
tell me.
And
Until you tell me.
Your confidence should exude fabulousness.
Confidence sells. That's
And-
I mean, that's across every race,
yeah.
every gender, everything.
And a nice point that I learned that Ayanna Presley has is that, you know, like, we don't have to turn it down or mute it or make it, you know, less than what it naturally is. Like, she wants, basically, her goal is for the world to, like, catch up with that.
Right.
And not make us feel like we have to demure ourselves because that is what happens around us.
And
I think that's amazing.
That's amazing. That's what she was talking about, the Crown Act.
Yeah.
And the
Changing
Crown
the law.
Act.
You don't need hair to wear crowns.
Right, yeah. And changing the law.
Changing the
The
law.
Crown Act, let me go, because I'm
No, go. The Crown Act is important.
It is prohibiting discrimination based on race and hair texture and hairstyles. I'm just summarizing it. It's a very long thing. But what was crazy is she is so right on with that, because she quoted the congresswoman who ran for president. I can't think of her name right now.
Shirley Chisholm?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. That's why we have all of us here. Shirley Chisholm was saying that you can drag a seat to be at the table.
Yes.
Where Congresswoman Presley says, nope, we need to change the table. And I love that this act is being out, because, you know, discrimination
It's still out there.
is still out there. And by the age of 5, little girls
That's what she said. It starts at as young as 5.
Little girls have what at 5?
have
They're
been
discriminated.
discriminated
Yeah.
I've experienced it.
at
yeah.
school.
I was going to say, they talk about it being done in schools.
Call it hair policing.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
hair policing
And it's-
and
and
body policing, which I'm sure we all have
But the crazy
experienced
part is
also.
that it's hair policing against the black
Yes, just black
children.
girls.
Right.
Yeah, you know.
And
it's
as high
everybody.
of 80% for kids 13 and other, that they have all did it, and it's crazy.